Hello, my name is Perry and I live in a little cottage in North Wales. I craft, create crafts and teach the crafts that I create at workshops in and around the area. I go off in my camper van, which I've named Tilly, and love an adventurous life. And this is my life in a teacup. So before we get into it, I just want to clarify here that today is Thursday the 8th of January. I mention that at the opening of the vlog, and then I say the 6th, and then I say the 8th again. But I can honestly say, hand on heart, today is Thursday the 8th. Enjoy. Bye. Hello, Peepingtons. Well, here we are. What date is it? The 8th of January, 2026. Well, that's gone quick. Christmas has been done, New Year in, done. And here we are, the 6th of January already. Hold on a sec. Lovely. Well, you can see I've got the fire going. I think you can see that. I've got my log burner going. And this is what we have at the moment. Let's see if you can see through the blinds. That mist or fog has just come down in the last few minutes because we have had absolutely dumps and dumps of snow, and apparently there's going to be some tonight. Now, with it being Christmas and New Year, obviously there won't be any montage at the end of this, but I did go for a walk up in the village the other day just after the snow had fallen, so there'll be a little bit of that, but that's probably about it. So, firstly, Happy New Year. Hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. If things went wrong at Christmas, I hope through 2026 they'll all be sorted. If you lost someone at Christmas, because people do, and it's a terrible time of year to go through that, I hope you'll be okay. And for those who are just plodding along, you know, having a good time, I hope 2026 for you and for everybody is going to be a wonderful year. Interestingly, it started off very well for me, and then I had a little hiccup, which I shall tell you about in a minute. So he came for Christmas, and we had a lovely time, and I think we probably had a nice time because I didn't nag him. I decided to keep zip. But we had a lovely time, quiet, just me and him. We didn't have a traditional Christmas dinner. I was going to, even though I don't really eat meat, but I would maybe once a year have a turkey. But we decided to have salmon in the end. So yeah, so that was that. Usual thing, ate too much, watched a load of crap on television. And then obviously just before Christmas and over the Christmas period, I was getting bookings for my workshops, which is brilliant because I've been doing a lot of social media, trying to get that out there, and it is working. So this is my little sheet. I mean, it's all online, it's all on my computer as well, but when people ring in or when somebody sort of messages me and says they want to book something, if my laptop's not open or whatever, I just write it down on that and then I transfer it onto the laptop. And I use this on the day as well so that I've got everybody's name. It's just easier. So my first workshop is on the 17th of January and that is fully booked, which I'm so pleased. That's 8 people and that's fully booked. In that particular environment for a lampshade workshop, I can only, for the space that we have, 8 is enough. And then I've got a gel plate printing workshop on the, don't worry, I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm just telling you the ones that are booked up that I'm so excited about. 23rd of January, I've got 10 on the gel plate workshop. And then we go on and there's a couple more, I think there's about 4 or 5 more, and they've all got bookings. They're not fully booked, but they've all got bookings on. So I am really chuffed about that. And I've got into it so much. So what we've got going on is resin jewellery now, lampshade making, as you know, and of course the gel plate printing. I can also do raised stenciling and I can also do wet felting. So those are going to be 2 new ones coming in the spring, and I'm really enjoying this process. Got to have another cup of tea. So I suppose the strangest thing that happened was on Saturday just gone. So today is Thursday, as I said, the 8th of January. And on Saturday I ended up in A&E. Trust me. The reason being is over the last, say, 6 to 9 months maybe, I've been getting palpitations and shortness of breath, and it was coming that I would be talking but I couldn't get a sentence out in one breath. I would have to stop and then carry on. And on Friday, before the Saturday, I went to A&E. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning with the most, the witching hour, with the most horrendous palpitations, so much so that I had to prop myself up in bed. I was scared to go to sleep because they were really boom, boom, boom. And I could hear it in my ears and I could feel my chest going. And I'm thinking, oh my God, am I going to have a stroke or a heart attack or something? Anyway, I did finally drop off to sleep. And the next day I felt okay. I was very tired, but I felt okay. Had already made an appointment to see the doctor yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, yesterday, which was the 7th. But I'd made that appointment before Christmas because I knew this wasn't right. And then all of a sudden, all I'm doing is taking decorations off of my twigs that I had up for Christmas. And it started again, and I went dizzy and hot and blah, 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 all of that goes with it. So my neighbours, bless their hearts, you know, they were really, Harry, my next door neighbour that lives that way, he was absolutely wonderful. He didn't want to take, I mean, I rang 999, our emergency services, and they had booked an ambulance, and I said, look, I'm not dying. I felt awful about, you know. So I was either going to get a taxi, which is, it's about half an hour away, a hospital. I was going to get a taxi or try and find someone who would take me. Harry's got problems with his van, and he didn't want me to he didn't want to break down halfway through or whatever. And then my neighbours 4 doors down, Mike and Jane, he's got a lovely brand new electric car, so he took me, went up, and I spoke to the clinician and said, look, please cancel the ambulance, I really don't need it, I'm making my own way, because I felt terrible. I mean, the problems over here with the NHS, you know, are bad enough as it is without me taking up an ambulance where that might need to go to an accident or someone who was having a heart attack for real, you know. Anyway, so 5 hours in A&E like you do, had all the tests done. Luckily, heart trace was fine. My blood pressure was very high, and it's normally spot on, but that was obviously probably the situation. Because I have to say, you do see some sights in A&E. And you see some sad sights, you know, there was a guy there, and I felt really sorry for him. He was covered in blood, bless him. And there was a young girl that was in so much pain. You could, she was writhing. I mean, it was awful. And then there's the comedy duo, you know, the usual ones. So yeah, so that was quite enlightening. Blah, 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 blah. Went to the doctors yesterday for all the tests, like for my final blood results. Heart rate, perfect. They did my blood pressure again, spot on. It had gone down spot on, and I've never had problems with blood pressure, so I'm lucky. Apparently, thank you very much, my darling mother, I've got thyroid problems. So I have an overactive thyroid. Now, I should have realised at the time, because I remember my mum, when she was in her mid-30s, I mean, bless her, she used to have a scar from here to here. She had her thyroid taken out because she also had an overactive, and I remember her shaking, shortness of breath, and thin. She'd become so thin. Now, sadly, I didn't get that symptom, did I? No. I mean, look at me. I did not get the symptom of losing weight, because when the doctor said to me yesterday, so do you have this, 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 this? And I'm going, yeah, yeah, yeah. And she went, weight loss? I went, I bloody wish. She started laughing. So I have an overactive thyroid, and luckily I've caught it early in the process. Apparently, I think if you have an overactive thyroid, it means that your thyroxine hormones, you're making too much, which makes your heart race, you can't breathe, you shake. Because I'm all right, a little bit shaky, but sometimes if I go to do something, my heart's pumping, my fingers start, it's really weird. And I just didn't think, I really didn't think. And then when the doctor mentioned all the symptoms again, I thought, oh my God, that was my mother. Now, it's not necessarily hereditary, but it can be hereditary. And I won't know until a few months down the line whether it's hereditary or not. So, like I say, thank you to my beautiful mother for leaving me with that. Though having said that, my father, as you know, died at 92, and my mum, unfortunately, she had cancer. But generally, her health was wonderful. So I think I've got good genes in that respect. So I now have to have a course of tablets. And those that know me, my close friends, know I don't take drugs apart from when I was younger, maybe the odd recreational one, but there you go, that's life, that's a passive part of life. But no, I do not take, the only drug I will take if I really have to will be a paracetamol. And apart from that, I've been very lucky. Oh, I've had antibiotics in the past, but I wouldn't take them now because I don't think they work. I would just let whatever it was go through. So yeah, I've been very, very lucky. I've never had to be on a course of tablets for any specific reason. Not even when I had cancer. I didn't have to have any drugs in that respect because I was lucky. I didn't have to have chemo either. It was off with the, and the mastectomy operation. And luckily for me, I had to have nothing after. It was off, done, and I was better. So, Happy New Year. You know, at the end of the day, I'm doing, you know, at 70 now, as you know, I'm doing really, really well. So that's what happened. Went to the local New Year's Eve bash, which was okay. You know, it was quite a nice evening. I left at about 12:30. And I noticed that my neighbours, Julie and Jason, now apparently they watch my vlog. So I'm going to say to you, when you watch this next time, you dirty stop outs. They stayed out till past 4 o'clock in the morning. Dirty stop outs. But no, it was nice because I went with all my neighbours and everything. So that was that. And Julie, bless her, she's messaging me to, you know, make sure I'm okay. And Harry's called me, and Mike and Jane have messaged. I mean, my neighbours, considering I've only been here 8 months, they've been really wonderful, really, really wonderful. So, you know, I'm very lucky that I've got really nice neighbours. The snow, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, has been incredible. I mean, it's beautiful, especially when you live out in the sticks. It, you know, you see all the sheep and the horses against the white background of the snow, and it does look really lovely. However, I think we're all bored with it now, and as I said, we're going to get a big dumping tonight as well, so that's going to hold things up. But apart from that, that's it. You know, I've been, obviously the next, I don't know when I'll next vlog again, because the next few weeks are going to be preparing for because I think virtually every week now I've got a class. And whilst it only takes me a day or two to repair, I've got to order stuff. I've got to go and set it up the day before and that sort of thing. So I'm going to be quite busy. I will try and take some little pictures, and that will all be shown on my next vlog. But yeah, so hope you all had a fantastic time. And like I said, I wish you all a peaceful, successful, and most of all, healthy 2026. So for now, I'll say goodbye and watch the little sort of montage thingy, though it's not travelling. Oh, I've just thought of something. Sorry, I always do this before I say goodbye. I'm so excited. Just before Christmas, I booked a 5-day wild camping and canoeing in Scotland on Loch Ness and another loch, I can't remember the name of it, and on the Caledonian Canal as well. I am so excited. So I'm walking every day at the minute because I've got to get my strength up, because I've never canoed before. I haven't got a clue how to do it. But apparently it's not for single people by any stretch, but they do say that they welcome people that are sort of on their own. And I'll take this off, it's getting on my nerves now. Yeah, on their own. And I've sort of looked up what you need to take and what the day is. And apparently, you know, the first day, they're going to sort of spend some time with you, teaching you how to, I don't know if this is how you do it, how to canoe. And then again, you go and you stop off at pubs and all that sort of stuff. And then you set up your tents. They supply all the tents. They supply everything. And it was quite good, actually. That, you know, they supply virtually everything. You have to take your own sleeping bag, obviously. But, you know, so you set up camp at night and you're camping under the stars in a tent, which is going to be great. So it's 4 nights camping, and the 5th day, that's the last day. So that is going to be super exciting. I can't wait. So that's in May. I have to be in Inverness for the 11th of May, and that runs for 5 days. So what I'm going to do is the week leading up to it, I'm going to set off in my camper van and sort of camp along the way before I get to Inverness, leave my van, go canoeing and wild camping, back to Inverness, get my van, and then do some camping on the way home. So whilst it is a long way off, mind you, the way time goes these days, there'll be lots and lots that I can post, and I will be posting vlogs as I go along the way on the trip. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. Yay! Probably end up in the water 9 times out of 10. So now I am definitely going. See you guys. Bye. So there we are then. This is a couple of days after our initial snowfall. Now, I know in Canada and Alaska and Norway and Scandinavia and all those places that have loads of snow, this is nothing in comparison. But you know what the UK is like? As soon as we get a bit of snow, everything comes to a halt. Though having said that, I must admit, here in Wales, the gritters were out in force and the roads were clear quite quickly. But the first day was a bit dodgy. So as I wander down through the village, I'll attach a little bit of music to this, as always, and leave you to enjoy my little walk and catch up with you in a bit. Had a little wander around our churchyard. Look at all these people sleeping under the snow. And look at the church, doesn't it just look so pretty with that beautiful blanket of undisturbed snow on the roof? Sorry about the portrait, but I've forgotten to take it in landscape. But this was the morning of the snowfall that I woke up to. And this is outside my front door. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. See you again soon. Take care. Fabulous 2026. Bye for now.